So right now, my commute to work is 80 minutes one way. I gotta wake up at 4:25 in the morning, get ready, gotta be out the door by 5:30, and on my way to work. Today's Tuesday, which is usually the longest day when it comes to recording, because I gotta get home, record predictions with Jade. I have to do fantasy studs and duds. I got to do the week 4 recap. And on top of that, I also have an interview with a Dallas Cowboys fan that I have to record tonight as well. And that's at 8 o'clock. So about 3 or 4 videos are going to get done today. Not all of them are going to get edited today, but this is pretty much what a typical Tuesday looks like. I do somewhat miss the days where this was super duper easy, in which I was only putting out 2 days of content a week and there was no visual component at all that needed to be edited. It was just plain old audio. This is Packcast. We are coming live from Lambeau Field. That woo, my friend, is my good friend Max, who has accompanied me on this Lambeau Field trip for training camp. I'd record an episode on Tuesday that recapped the Packers game from the past week. And then on Thursday, I would bring in the fan from the opposing team and have that interview done by Thursday. I've never had any marketing for this podcast or anything like that. And I still remember the first episode. It was the Rams episode where I first hit over 100 views, if you want to call them. And I was absolutely ecstatic. I think it might have even hit up to like 250. And I was like running around and I was dancing because, so people were actually listening to it. And it was really, really cool because this show, Packcast, has never been about making money or even this becoming a full-time job. I mean, that has only happened within the past year and a half, even thoughts or inklings of the fact that this could turn into something more than just a hobby. I mean, the first time that I even went on YouTube wasn't even with Packcast. It was with the Packers reaction video to the 2014 NFC Championship game.
Interception, baby! Woohoo! Game over! Oh, we're running the ball. All right. On first down. And on second and third. It's not like they're going to score. All right, they scored. They got to get an onside kick. Do you know the likelihood of them actually getting it? Son of a bitch, they got an onside kick.
And so I did it, and I posted on YouTube, and I didn't really post anything on YouTube before that. And over 60,000 people watched it. And that was a really, bizarre week. Because in that week, I had Packers fans reaching out to me and saying thank you because it helped them cope with that loss and so it was like a tragedy that occurred within the Packer Nation, and people were saying you should do more stuff, and I did a couple reaction videos to the Pro Bowl, and that was the Super Bowl where the Seahawks threw an interception on the 1-yard line. But it was after that moment I was like, hey, you know what, maybe this could be something else. Maybe I could do a podcast. I started doing comedy around the same time that I started doing the podcast. I did my first bit of stand-up comedy right after Robin Williams passed away. And I went to an open mic later that week. And I had done improv comedy in college.
This is the only way I know how to get candy.
Let's start with a high five. A really high. You missed, sir. Can I? Sir, can you please stop smacking me in the face? There.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
This is good.
No, anyway,
but it was always with a group, and right before I was about to graduate college, UCB, which is the Upright Citizens Brigade, which is where Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, all the people go to eventually get on SNL. It's a huge improv troupe in the city. They called me because we had them up for a show in New Paltz, and we opened for them. And the guy called me and goes, "So, do you want to pursue improv out of college? Because we would love to have you." And me being the idiot that I was, I said no, because I'm going to go and get a teacher job immediately out of college. And that's what I'm going to do in my life. This was like, comedy was a fun little thing that I did in college, and that's going to be that. And so I told him no, which was, for him, he was just like, okay, like, you're an idiot. And of course, getting out of school with no teaching experience whatsoever, except with my now $50,000 bachelor degree, I didn't get a teaching job, shocker, and it took me until from May to December to actually get something in education, and it was help writing grants for schools, and it really didn't. It was an office job. And that's when I started doing stand-up.
Well, one time when I was little, we went to the mall and we got separated. So I went over, I found a security guard and paged my mom. I was like, "Mrs. Grossi, please come to the security desk to get your son." And I remember she was so angry that they found me.
I've been doing videos, or if you want to call it comedy, for a long, long time. I mean, my fifth grade teacher used to call me Jim Carrey. I used to do home movies with my best friend. We got like my brother in on it. We got my little cousins in on it, and we made like every time we made Lord of the Rings, we made Pirates of the Caribbean, we made Indiana Jones, we made Batman, we made James Bond. We made a lot, and then some of these, like I think the Harry Potter movie was like over an hour and a half long. And then we like gather the whole family around and we'd watch it. And yeah, like I absolutely love doing that. And after college, like after 2012, like that kind of just like went away. And I met Jade in 2011. And this was like we did like videos every now and then. I think it was like 2015 when I started getting like the comedy juices back. But like for like 3 years, I didn't do it, and that was probably like, it wasn't a great 3 years. I mean, I feel like there was definitely something missing.
Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to a brand new season of Packcast. I am your host, Tom Grossi. Thank you for tuning into the podcast where you don't need to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help.
Around like 2016, like every now and then I put some stuff on YouTube, but it was maybe like once a week, and it wasn't anything crazy. And then in 2017, and we grew a little bit, which was pretty cool. And then in 2017, I started putting more and more stuff on there. But like you can go back and see the videos today, and like they still only have like, some of them have less than 100 views. And that's what it was for a really long time. In that I would do my full-time job, and I still was only doing podcasts like 2 or 3 times a week. But like then now because I had to teach myself how to do audio recording. I had to teach myself how to do editing, video recording, etc. And this stuff took like hours. I used to do this stuff on my laptop, and it would take 3 times the amount of the video length. So if I did a 45-minute interview, it would take nearly 3 hours just to render. And that's not even editing or recording time. And so like there was times where I had to stay up until 12 o'clock and put stuff out, and 50 people would watch it. And it was one of those things that I tell this to everybody who wants to create a podcast or wants to try and do this. Like for a long time, like it sucks. And you spend 8 hours on one video and a handful of people watch it. Like that, it stings a bit. But I mean, that's what goes back to what I was saying before, that it really just is, you have to love it. You have to love it or you're not going to survive. And going into last season, I had been in teaching then. That would have been my 4th year teaching. I was like, okay, so let's see what we got here. And it did well. Obviously got on NBC, which was the most ridiculous thing I could possibly imagine on Sunday Night Football. That was absolutely insane. And Yeah, it was it grew a lot, and we hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and I was like, damn, here we go. And here we are. It's one of those things that now, this could potentially be a full-time gig, and it's now turned into, last week I pumped out 11 videos, and we're doing streaming every single week, and it's a lot, and I'm still working full-time and traveling on this 80-minute commute. So when I get home, every single day I take the dogs out, and then I go right down here. I go downstairs, and that requires research for every single video. Then I record, and then if that video has to go out, I have to edit it, render it, and then put it out there. And then I have to do that for about 3 more videos just that day alone, because the rest of the week gets pretty crazy. So Tuesdays are particularly rough. they're a little bit challenging, to say the least. But what's nice is I can get ahead of things at least a little bit, and so I'll only be up until about like 10 o'clock on Tuesday, and that'll be an early night. That'll be a good night. I mean, anytime there's like a night game, like a Monday night, a Sunday night, or a Thursday night game, I mean, because I do the streams, and then I have to do research, and then record, and then upload, and edit, and all that stuff. I don't get to bed until 1:30 in the morning, and then I gotta wake up at 4:30. And I've been doing this now for 2 straight years, basically being as close to full-time as possible. And obviously this year we've ramped it up even more, because I feel like I totally could just take a step back, and even if I just narrowed it down to just like 5 or 6 videos a week instead of 11, or doing multiple videos per day, I then feel like I'm being lazy. And it's one of those things that like I need to keep doing it, because if I see a drop in the views or the subscribers, like I take a lot of that, and I go like, okay, well, that's because I decided to phone it in for this particular day. Instead of recording and putting out 2 videos, I only did 1. So like, because of that, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to put out multiple videos, and I wouldn't say that's particularly healthy or good, but like, that's the thing, is like I enjoy it. I enjoy the frantic rush of, okay, I have to do this, and this. The audio is obviously being recorded after the fact, but like Wednesday was our 4-year anniversary, and I knew that we were going out to dinner, and I was not going to have any time that evening. So like, I had to race home, and I had to edit the predictions video, which takes forever to edit, and I had to get it out that day. And then I also had to do I had to finish up a Fantasy Studs and Duds video, and that had to get out today. And I was able to do it in like 2.5 hours. So, it's one of those things that I enjoy the franticness. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't utterly exhausted every single day. And like, I still, every single day I go to work, and teach those kids, I'm still giving them 110%. And I'm not letting it impact me, and I'm just thinking about those kids while I'm there. But I feel like it's almost gotten to a point where there's a decision that's going to have to be made, and it's going to have to be made soon. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is something that I absolutely love doing. Every single time I get to interact with people, and I get this all the time of like people sending me messages, and I respond to them, of course, and they're like, I can't believe you responded. And I'm like, why wouldn't I? I mean, like, you are taking time out of your day to watch some idiot in a basement, talk about the Packers or the Vikings or NFL or what have you. Like, I wouldn't respond to you? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's something that I wouldn't give up. This is such an important, like, this is going on 5 years, and this is such an important aspect of my life that if I didn't do this show at this point, like, I don't know what the hell I'd do with all my time. Like, I really don't know. I'd probably work out a little bit more, but or at all. But like, I truly don't know what I would do, because like, I get home and I work 12 to 16-hour days, and that's what it is. And if I stop teaching, and just did this full time, I'd still work 12-hour days, and there would just be even more content that would be pushed out. And that's kind of what this season's going to be about. It's going to be about seeing, is this sustainable? Can this be a full-time thing? Can I live off of just this? You know, because the NFL could collapse tomorrow or what have you, and then I'd be screwed. So it's just a matter of, we'll see where we are in the coming weeks, and then we'll see what we have to do. But I think it's going to be good.